Who would know?
Correct. Well, that's why I say if you're going to do that, you got to stop those shots. They're brutal.
Yeah.
To me, they're brutal.
I don't think they were doing a ton of them.
They did. Well, every time they did, I wanted to puke. Every time they showed an empty stadium, I have diarrhea.
I'm kidding. I don't like it.
Now, when they had the regular shots and you're watching the game, it's awesome. I love the game. Are kidding? I love the game. But, I mean, there should be some fans.
I feel like by week 3, that's going to be over with.
I hope so.
It was week 1. It was new, and maybe they were highlighting it. But during the game, I didn't notice it at all. And I think by week 3, the cameramen and the people in the booth aren't going to really talk about it.
Well, I noticed
the game.
I notice it because I know that there's no fans there.
Right.
And I know that the crowd noise you hear is fake. So that's why I notice it.
Like I would
like to.
Go ahead.
I was going to say I would like to see every NFL team allow some fans. Doesn't have to be packed stadiums. I know that's not going to happen, but
I agree with you 100%.
You can spread these guys out.
Of course.
It just adds to the energy of the game.
Of course.
The Jags fans were sized yesterday. The only fans in stands.
Of course.
And they got to see a dub. They got to see a Minshew Mania-led dub.
Right. Well, so far there are 5 teams that are going to have fans on the record. But, I mean, look, the Nats are out of it, but I want to go to a Nats game.
You won't go sneak in somehow.
You can't. You can't. So, anyway, I love it. I thought it was amazing, but that was one downer for me. But
I am glad that it's
they
back,
change.
Though, yes.
It's so great that it was back. It was an unbelievable weekend. It felt like Christmas. It really did. I mean, I said it earlier in the show, and I said it yesterday on social media. I got up. I couldn't sleep. I got up at 5 a.m., and I was just geeked up. I was just laying in bed, staring at the ceilings.
You got up at 5 a.m. on a Sunday?
I did. Well, I laid in bed until 8, and then just trying to sleep and tossing and turning. And then finally I was able to sleep for about 45 minutes, from about 8 to 8:45, and then I was like, all right, this is it.
Time to get up, yeah.
Time to start pregame.
But it was all just excitement for having the league back, which was so great.
NFL Were you excited when the Washington football team was at a 17-0 hole?
No, but I wasn't as down as I normally would
Beggars
be.
can't be choosers.
Yeah. Normally I would just be pooping on the team, just crushing them. But I was just so grateful to have it that I hadn't hit that point yet. Now maybe by mid-second quarter next week I will, but in the week 1 I was just thrilled to have it.
All right, Valdez, play the music. We need to get back into it. It is a Victory Monday here on The Fan, and the Washington football team is 1-0 atop the division. They beat the Eagles 27-17. We'll open up the phone lines again at 800-636-1067. If there's an area of concern, though, what is it for you as a Washington football team fan? We'll get into that next here on the Junkies.
Hey NFL fans, Dak Prescott here. Want to spend Sunday afternoons with your favorite teams and players? Switch to DirecTV and get NFL Sunday Ticket included at no extra cost. I'm talking every live out-of-market game, every Sunday, no matter where you live. So switch to DirecTV to get the 2020 NFL Sunday Ticket season included at no extra cost. Call 1-800-DIRECTV.
Out-of-market games only. Requires choice package or above. Minimum $74.99 a month before discounts. Prices higher in second year. Regional sports fee up to $9.99 a month applies. 24-month agreement. Activation. Other fees. Terms and restrictions apply.
Welcome back. Junkies on 106.7 The Fan on a Victory Monday. Remember, tomorrow, Pro Football Focus Tuesday. The best insiders in the game join us every Tuesday at 9 o'clock. Thursdays, we've got our pal Dave Richard, fantasy football guru, joining us at 8 o'clock. Jason Lockenfora, CBS Sports reporter, insider, joins us at 9 o'clock on Thursdays. So we are all over the start of the NFL season. We've been almost entirely positive about the Washington football team's comeback win yesterday, 27-17 over the Eagles. But there were some areas of concern. And, look, some of them are obvious. I'm definitely concerned about the lack of weaponry for Dwayne Haskins. They were able to get the job done, but I just don't think he has much to work with. He squeezed in 5 balls to Terry McLaurin. I think it's going to be tough sledding for McLaurin all year until some of these other guys step up. I know that Cakes has been high on Logan Thomas's performance. I mean, one of those was just a completely botched coverage. A couple of the catches were like little tiny screen passes. I need to see more impact plays from other guys, and I just think it's going to be tough sledding all season long for the offense because they just don't have that much.
Well, Dwayne also can't throw a guy's feet and throw 3 feet behind the receiver going across the middle.
Right.
He's got to be better than 50%.
So it's a lot
accurate.
So I'm not sure how good.
So maybe that's a concern for you is Haskins' play.
Yeah, it is. I mean, you can throw out all pro receivers out there, and if you can't hit them in the hands, it's not really going to help you. But I think that and the lack of a true threat at running back, I know they're going to do the committee thing, but if I were a fan, I'd want a go-to number one that I know is going to be there on first down, second down, maybe third down. They're kind of mixing and matching. I mean, do you really love Peyton Barber 17 times? I don't love it.
I mean,
I don't love it.
Dovetailing off of that, 36 carries for 80 yards, 2.2 yards per carry.
It's better than what Philadelphia gave you, but that's not saying much.
It's a bunch of guys who are trying to figure out who's going to be the lead guy at this point. I mean, Peyton Barber looks like he's pulled in the lead after 1 week, but I think it's just the maturation process for Gibson. I think as the season goes along, he's going to get more looks and more touches. And I think they're going to use Barber as like that inside the 10-yard line thumper to try to score. He's the goal line guy.
I mean, look, for me, it all starts up front, and they're going to be as good as the offensive line. So if the offensive line could create holes, I don't care who's back there. Those guys are capable. They can get first downs. They can move the chains. And Haskins is going to need some time to set his feet. I'd like to see him do a little more up-tempo stuff, like the kind of stuff we talked about with John Keim. When they do that, when they go no huddle, he seems to be in a rhythm. He seems to feed off that. And I also think that probably helps the offensive line a little bit. But to me, that's where it starts. Unlike JP, I think that we don't have great weapons, but I think the weapons are good enough. They're serviceable. They can do the job. And I don't think that's going to be what holds them back. What will hold them back will be Wes Martin getting blown off the line, or Brandon Sheriff, whiffing on his guy, or Morgan Moses. That's going to be what holds this team back more than not necessarily having a name running back.
Yeah,
I think without those other guys being true threats, I think McLaurin's going to have a tougher time. Like I think a lot of us expected McLaurin to have even a bigger year than he had as a rookie, where he nearly caught. He nearly had 1,000 yards receiving, and he had the 7 touchdowns. I think it might be tougher because he's going to be getting so much attention because teams aren't scared of Dontrell Inman. I don't think teams are scared of Steven Sims Jr. I don't think they're scared of Logan Thomas. So I think it's going to put a lot of pressure on McLaurin. And, another thing to be concerned about, although Haskins didn't have any interceptions, Moose Johnson brought it up in the television broadcast that the Eagles, in their preparation, I guess when he was talking to Eagles coaches, felt like Haskins tries to squeeze things in, and you can see that at times where he tries to force the issue, and ultimately that's going to lead to a bunch of picks.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
Look, I think he's going to have, I think I said 16, 17 interceptions.
He's going to have games like that.
He's going to have interceptions, there's no doubt.
And by the way,
I also think he's going to throw for more than 178 yards, and he's going to have some touchdowns.
By the way, it doesn't get easier for that Skins offensive line or team offensive line. Next week, they're going to go against Chandler Jones and Zach Allen, and those guys in particular gave Jimmy G a lot of problems yesterday, especially in the fourth quarter.
Right.
So they're going to have to do a good job on those ends next week in Arizona.
Well, thank God they play for the Cardinals. That's good news.
You mean the 1-0 Cardinals who went on the road and got an impressive win?
I mean the historically bad Cardinals.
Okay.
The team that we typically beat. Yeah, that's what I...
Just don't let Kyler get outside of the pocket because it could be a long day.
Hey, I'm scared of Kyler Murray. I know his ability. I'm a Kyler Murray guy, too.
He was throwing at guys' feet in the first half.
League covered. Yeah. All right, 800-636-1067. You can call us on the AAA Always On Call listener line. Let's go to the phones.
All right, let's go to Steve. Calling from Houston. Steve, we got people calling from all over. Is anybody in D.C. actually listening? Steve. What's up, buddy?
What's up, Good morning. Ray, what's up, man? Good morning to you guys.
Yeah.
I definitely agree, but you guys made all the valid points. Haskins is going to have to come out, firing. He can't continue to do that, and running that up-tempo 2-minute offense is definitely, it appears to be beneficial. And, I don't know, is something about Haskins where it seems like he's kind of that boxer who, once he gets 2, 3, 4, 5 good punches in the jaw, then he wakes up. But he can't. That won't sustain, I don't think, for long-term success. That running back experiment. When I looked at Peyton Barber yesterday, And then I've seen Adrian Peterson's stats. I don't know if you guys peeped out his stats in Detroit. I threw 14 for 94 yards or something, and I think 20-some yards catching. So I'm thinking, I'm looking at what Barber did, and I'm like, well, AP could have done that at the bare minimum and possibly better.
But then you don't get the growth. Then you don't get the growth of the young guys. And in year one for Ron Rivera, he felt like having Adrian Peterson, he didn't do anything wrong, but he might actually hurt the growth of guys like Antonio Gibson and Bryce Love.
That's true, but that's a two-sided coin, because if you're talking about you're not waiting and you want to win now, you want to go with the more certain project. But I get the thing, and it's kind of like a mix. And I'm saying where, you could have, AP could have played Barber's role, but you still would have had the Gibson and McKissick thing. And, the Gibson, he looks a little heavier than what I thought. Looks a little bit. I think they say he weighs 220. Looks a little heavier than that.
No, they say he's probably 230.
They said 230. Yeah,
and he still ran a 4.39.
He's a bruiser.
He can still move though.
Yeah.
Yeah, he can, but you can see he's not a natural running back, and so hopefully they get that worked out. And I'll say this: I know Troy Apke has been getting beat up a lot. I'll say two things about him and Jimmy Moreland. It's something about when those guys tackle, they bring an energy and a pop to the ball. And I know Apke took a lot of some bad angles. I don't know if it's fair to say a lot. He had some miscues yesterday, but at least when he arrives, man, he brings the wood, and definitely Jimmy Moreland as well. And it was good to see Carson Wentz not escape sacks yesterday, like how he's been doing the last 3 or 4 years. It always seemed like we'd have him, and he would always escape. So
he tried on a few occasions, but for the most part, the Skins took care of him.
Yeah. Right. That's the most exciting part of the football team. The bottom line is that we're so used, over the last 20 years, to be so focused on the offense that literally watching the defensive side of the ball is more exciting. It just is right now. And I just can't remember that. I can't remember that ever really here in D.C. So I love that. All right, let's go to line one. Cowboy Todd. Cowboy.
Hey, hail, fellas, hail.
What's up, buddy? Hail, that's right.
Hey, so I told Drabby, before we even got started, I said, don't doubt these boys. I said, the only concern that we're going to have is just the offense a little bit with Haskins' accuracy, but the defense is just like the Denver. I think we're going all the way. It's just we're going to. That defense is just going to tear it up.
I love how he's so cavalier about just worry about the Haskins a little bit. If he improves, if the accuracy gets better. But we're going all the way. Let's do this.
Yep.
He does have a point in this sense. He does have a point in this sense. That Denver team won despite Peyton Manning that year.
That's right.
That was all defense.
Okay, you're talking about Peyton
Even
Manning.
though he had the noodle arm.
He was horrific.
By the way, he wasn't so horrific
I don't know about
in
that.
the playoffs. He got benched in the regular season. In the playoffs, he wasn't horrific. He was more of a game manager than a guy that was slinging it for 400 yards, but they wouldn't have won that Super Bowl if they stuck with Brock Osweiler.
I put it this way. If I was Peyton, I'd wear my Colts Super Bowl ring.
Well, I think he'll probably wear both.
Yeah. All right.
Now, you're being a little hard on him. I mean, there's a lot more into going into a quarterback than just throwing for 350 and 3 scores. I mean, he makes good decisions. He made good decisions. He changed plays. He
Cowboys
made them
not
a better
the
team.
only one that thought about the Denver defense as we were racking up 15 quarterback hits and 8 sacks and a couple one forced fumble, 2 interceptions. Believe me, that wasn't lost on this guy. I started thinking about great defenses.
Okay, it's one game. Remember, this is one game.
One game
out of 16.
One game.
Getting a little over the skis.
We just had a guy on last week that said he thought we may have the best pass rush in football, and so far,
well, they were yesterday.
He wasn't lying.
Andy Benoit.
Yep.
By the way, Peyton Manning.
I want to call him Benoit.
Not spectacular, but as he beat the Steelers, the Patriots, and then Carolina in the Super Bowl, had 2 touchdowns, 1 pick, completed 64% of his passes.
Right.
Not horrible.
Cowboy,
again, not
else?
spectacular, but not horrible during that playoff run.
No, that's it. I'm just so excited. That's it. That defense, I'm ready to rock and roll. I taped over my Josh Norman name, and I'm writing Gibson over top of my 24 jersey until my Chase Young jersey gets
It's actually smart. That's
what I was thinking about, though, Cakes. Like this year, we're not doing. A lot of